You've been talking about loving a woman needing a man that she can relate to, who is
A better man than
a
herself.
better man than herself, and that it's through a man that a woman relates to God. If she hates her father, how can
If she has a
love
good man,
God?
what happens if he doesn't have a good man, and if she doesn't have one at all? Then what
Right,
happens?
right. Well, when you were talking about loving God earlier, though, too, I was thinking, how can I, when I am so removed in my own nature from God-likeness, I don't know God, how
Do you
can
have
I
children?
love God?
Do you have
No,
kids?
thank God.
Well, you like well, he's in your life then.
Huh?
No, I'm just kidding you.
I didn't hear you.
Well, you don't really have a problem though. You see, marriage is a beautiful thing, not like you think it is, but it's a way of overcoming your selfishness. If you weren't married, you wouldn't have a need to overcome your selfishness. You wouldn't even know you had a problem, because it's only by being married you know you got a problem when you thought you had the solution. See what I'm saying? Marriage is not a solution, but it looks like one, and then you realize you got a problem, and then if you're loyal, you hang in there.
But what is it to love God?
To love God, well, do you see all of the little insecurities and little attachments you have to life?
Tremendous, yes.
Could you just mention one or two things that bother you, perhaps?
Well, this brings
What are
up
your
another thing
attachments, your
that's...
addictions, like food?
Mm-hmm.
What else?
The approval or disapproval of somebody whom I think is
Material
important to me.
things. Do you have any hang-ups?
Food.
Just mostly food, eh?
Yeah.
But do you see that you're insecure and how you grasp onto material things to draw, as if to draw from them something that is fulfilling,
Right.
and yet it isn't?
Right.
Well, when you've lived long enough, because, you know, the Bible says, and I agree with everything the Bible says, because I really understand it, is that first man is first of nature, then of spirit. So therefore it is natural to be child, angry, and to collect things, and to be greedy and selfish, and to draw your nature from the things around you, and from sniveling rivalry, you know, that sort of thing. You evolve the animal side of you at first, to some degree, guarded, I hope, by a loving parent. Make sure you don't go, you know, too crazy and go overboard, you know, presided over by a watchful eye of a parent, okay? But man is first of nature, then a spirit, and then there's a certain period of time, some of us take longer than others to get this message, but there's a certain point in life where you do think that riches and girlfriends and possessions and a new car and, you know, getting good feelings from smoking a joint, whatever it is, all those different things that you do that you seem like is essential to your life. If you didn't have it, you'd die. And what's life all about? What is there to live for, you say, in this state? But there's a certain point in life where you begin to realize there's something wrong. And it's the relationship with the wrong that causes the conflict with what's right in you. Because that's when you reach the threshold of that development. When you reach the threshold of that development, developing that way, then you start to come in conflict with the spirit that created you to know Him. So at that point, the more you want, the more dissatisfied you get with sex and music. And you start with conflict with the things you own. And then you try not owning them, but then that doesn't do it either. You try giving it away, throwing it away. See, you vacillate between, and then you realize then that the material, that the movement, your movement of your soul toward the world is the movement in the wrong direction. Now at that point you become spiritual, start to search for something you know not what. Seek and you shall find. It's really yearn. Seeking is the wrong word, it's yearning. The minute you start to recognize that's not it, and you say, well, what is it? The minute you ask that question, that's not it. It's not out there, I know that. You're given to know that. The minute you say, what is it? What am I here for? The minute you do that, you'll know God.